Prince Harry speaking publicly for the first time about his and Meghan Markle's unprecedented decision to give up their royal duties. He made his first public comments, at a charity event in London last night.
There really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible.
Well, as part of the deal, Harry and Meghan will lose their most prestigious royal titles and will no longer receive public funds. Roya Nikkhah is a royal correspondent for the Sunday Times of London. She's at Buckingham Palace with more on this story. Roya, good morning to you. Boy, so much has happened in the last week. A lot to unpack, but let's start with Harry's statement last night. What is your sense of how it's being received in the UK and what the people are saying about the final outcome that the couple has made?
Well, it was an extraordinarily personal statement that he gave last night, and I think what has surprised people from it is not the frankness from Harry, but I think actually in terms of what he said off the back of the Queen's statement on Saturday night, where she put out a statement that, she said everyone was very happy with the agreement that had been reached, that she was pleased that they'd got there, and hopefully they could move on. Harry's statement last night said something quite different. He suggested quite strongly that actually the deal that he and Meghan have got is not what they wanted to start with. They had wanted to be able to keep one foot in and one foot out of public duties, of royal duties, and the Queen has made it clear that wasn't possible. Harry expressed his sadness about that last night, and I think that has surprised a lot of people.
Roya, why can't they continue serving in a royal capacity at this point?
I think the feeling is very much from the Queen and other members of the royal family that because Harry and Meghan have made it absolutely clear they want to be financially independent, and that means going off and striking all sorts of commercial deals, it's just too difficult and too toxic for the royal family to have members of the royal family who were still working on behalf of the Queen, on behalf of the government, going off and using the royal status and the royal brand and their titles to strike commercial deals. That has always been a toxic combination. When royal family members have tried that before, look at the Duchess of York, a little bit with Prince Andrew, and I just think the Queen absolutely did not want to have to be dealing with that down the line.
So any idea of what these new roles might look like outside of the royal family? What kind of deals they'll strike? I mean, and the idea that they're not going to benefit from the title and history, if not the current holding of the title, seems a little bit crazy.
It's just uncharted territory and unprecedented. And I think, the guidance that I had from the palace on Saturday night when this broke was that there are no deals signed at the moment apart from what Meghan has signed with Disney to do a voiceover, and of course Harry's documentary with Oprah Winfrey, which is going out later this year for Apple TV. But I think what they're absolutely clear they're saying is they're not going to become big brand ambassadors for global names, for global companies. There was a suggestion that Meghan might be a brand ambassador for Givenchy, of course, the designer who designed her wedding dress. The palace are ruling that out at the moment, but the palace aren't going to have any oversight over the deals that Harry and Meghan strike down the line. And I think that's where there's a very grey area. The really interesting thing about that statement and our conversations with the palace on Saturday night was that the Sussex Royal brand, which of course is their Instagram name, it's the name of their yet-to-be-launched foundation, there is a big question mark over whether or not they'll be able to use that Sussex Royal branding going forwards.
Ooh, uncharted territory for the royal family. Roya Nikkhah, thank you very much for being with us this morning.